5 years on a boat.
I can't believe it's been 5 years already. Where is time going?
Where it's going? It's just going too fast.
Yes.
Staying on the path that I've chosen, straight up. Come my way and I'll see you at the top. 'Cause something's gonna happen in this story, and I can feel it coming like the rising of the sun. Straight up.
It really has been going so fast. It is hard to believe it was 5 years ago, I think, to about the day that we took possession of Why Not and delivered her to our first marina over in Punta Gorda, Florida, and started this new adventure of shifting from full-time RVing to splitting our time between RVing and boating.
Yeah, when Cherie told me that we need to film something, it's our 5-year boat anniversary, I'm like, no, you must be wrong. This doesn't seem like it's been that long. But on the other hand, it feels like we've been living aboard Why Not just about forever. It feels like home. It feels so comfortable. And we have done a lot to make it feel that way. We've taken on a lot of projects. A lot of them were in that first 2 years. And I don't know, this feels like a house. It feels homey. I like
Definitely, since, a pandemic kind of changed things for us, and we did choose to be fairly stationary for the last 2 years here in Sanford, Florida, where we are filming this again. Yeah, it definitely has. Why Not feels like our little mobile condo on the water where we get to stay in amazing downtowns and explore from there. Certainly a different vision than what we had when we took on the boating of doing the Great Loop in 2 or 3 years, and we barely even scratched that yet.
Yeah, no. So as far as the Great Loop progress goes, we made it from Punta Gorda, so the west central side of Florida, all the way around and up to Charleston is as far north as we made it. So South Carolina. And which is a good chunk of the loop, but it's still just that would be a
1/6.
1/6, yeah, just a tiny fragment for a lot of people. We always knew we wanted to do it at a slow pace. We just are doing it even slower than we thought, and we're loving it. That's not a complaint. That's not a downside. We actually like having the flexibility to be it in a really slow place, particularly when pandemics and stuff hit, and we're like, now's not a good time to be in motion.
Not for us, especially since, unlike RVing, where if something comes up, especially with family or you want to be closer to family, an RV is a lot easier to get across country or make a long distance. A boat, it's a major undertaking. So if we make it, like, let's say up to New York in the boat and we need to return to Florida for any reason, then we're looking at storing the boat up there and then finding alternate accommodations in Florida to be nearby family.
Or a very, very long and expensive cruise back. Whereas in the RV, you just hop in it and go. And that's actually part of the reason we love having the flexibility of our car is a van, a camper van, that lets us do just for fun trips, and or we need to get someplace in a hurry, we've got a small house to go and leave the boat behind.
So definitely, if you'd asked us 5 years ago what we would have done on the boat, what we have actually done does not really match our original vision. But how good are any of us at predicting what life's going to be like 5 years from now, especially in how quickly things are changing in our entire world. But anyway, as Chris mentioned, in the first 2 years of our boat ownership, we did a lot of changes on the boat. We did a video back then giving a tour of all the changes we did, things like adding the solar and the lithium batteries. We have the pop-up television and
built the office in.
There were a whole bunch of other projects that we took on. I mean, they now just feel like such a part of the boat that it's almost hard to remember what Why Not was like the day we got her.
Yeah, so those were some of the things that added so much to just our daily quality of life, of having, entertainment handled, having a workspace handled, having, just all the basic logistics of living handled. And now we've actually tackled a few other some nice quality of life improvements more recently too.
Yeah, so not as many dramatic as some of the original ones that we did 2 years ago, but in the last 3 years, we added a hot tub to the boat. Okay, that was pretty awesome.
That's a pretty big quality of life improvement.
Yeah, it is an inflatable. We have a video on that you can go look at. But we've had that now for over a year, and love
we get so much use out of it. It requires frequent patching and stuff to keep going, but it has been so worth it, just to have a little bit of bliss up there.
We did An interesting change that we did is we actually put a composting toilet on the boat. So our boat has two heads. We have one in the master stateroom and one mid-berth, or midway on the boat is our guest bath. And
we've had to, both of them were due for rebuilding. I rebuilt the one in the master, and it's like, before I had to tackle dismantling and rebuilding the rear one, we're like, sometimes we get places where pump outs are hard to find.
Or so like when we've had to haul out and be on the hard for extended amount of time, getting a pump out then can be difficult. Pump out stations are not as easy to find as dump stations for RVs. They are mechanical, they break down. So there's been plenty of times in which we're stretching our tank's limits, which we can get about 2 weeks off of. They're 45 gallons. But we just thought, well, we have two heads. Why not have the flexibility of having a composting toilet so that those situations aren't as stressful? So we have an alternative.
We have an
on board.
alternative way to really, really extend our tanks. And so we haven't really, had much need for it, but we put it in place and have used it. And it's nice to have that, that variety. Having two separate, completely independent systems is always a good idea.
So we did research all the current composting toilets on the market. We went with the Seahead, which is ironically made just right up the river in Astor, down the river technically, right? Yeah.
Toilet. Key thing is, pee goes here, poop goes here. You gotta aim where you go, and then pee goes out in this. And it's got a crank to stir up your poop, and poop comes out in this bucket. So we're going to be pooping in this bucket.
Well, you're going to be pooping in the bucket.
You're going to be pooping in the bucket. We'll all be pooping in the bucket.
The reason we picked it is because of it fit. Most of the other ones were just too big for the size of the bathroom that we were putting it and replacing. This is the one that had the dimensions that would fit best.
And it looks good too. Some of the other ones were really clunky.
Yeah, it looks more like a traditional toilet, but it's basically a
bucket. Under a seat.
It's a bucket you poop in, and this one doesn't need ventilation. It can just have a bag.
Anyway, we've got two different toilet systems, which has been good. That's one of the upgrades we've tackled.
The Bayliner 4788. That's what we have, right? Yeah. The engine hatches are like right underneath where we're sitting. It came with 4 hatches, 2 over each engine itself, but there's a middle aisle, and the only way to get to it was going through the hatch in the stairs, which means if you're doing work and you need to stand up, it can be
even just to get to the engine, because most of the work you do on the engine you do from the sides, not from the top, and that means crawling through a crawl space on your hands and knees, and then anything you need you have to get back all the way back out the crawl space. So one of the best upgrades that anybody with a Bayliner 4788 can do is cut a new proper hatch in the middle of the living room so you can stand up in between the engines and not go through the crawl space.
Right. We finally had that done about 3 years ago when we pulled out in Savannah, and we left the boat at Hinckley Yacht Services there. That was one of the first projects we had them do before we had them do our engine maintenance, and had our after coolers rebuilt because they were due for that as well. So that was a great upgrade. It definitely makes just even checking the oil so much easier, changing out the cleaning the sea strainers for the air conditioners, just all the stuff that you have to do on a boat just has improved that. If you have a 4788, haven't done it yet, do it. We delayed for 2 years. I wish we had done it a lot sooner. We at our last video update of the tour, we have done a video on the full electrical system of Why Not with the completed system, but we did do a final installation of the solar panels.
So we got 1440 watts. It's basically the roof over the back of our fly bridge, and we love having solar. We wish we had more. You never can have enough, but it's great.
Plenty for the way we split our time between active cruising and anchoring and staying long-term in marinas. We do have 300 amp hours at 24 volt of lithium-ion batteries from Battleborn that are underneath the settee here in the corner. We had new screen doors made for all of the doors on the boat, so that allows us to have a door going in and out of each of the doors. Leave them open. It's great for springtime or fall when we don't need air conditioning.
It lets the air flow through, particularly the flybridge ones bring just tons of air, and then having this back one open here. And it keeps the cat, keeps the bugs out and the cat in, which is the design goal of the screen doors.
Definitely. We had those done up in Bosun's Locker up in Jacksonville about 3 years ago, right after we filmed our last video, and that has been a fantastic addition to the boat. So we have we have 4 windows, 4 doors. So yeah, we have one on each.
Yeah.
It's been excellent on that.
Another quality of life thing we did was we replaced basically all the overhead lights in the boat other than the kitchen, which is the only area that had already been upgraded to LED. So
Well, most have been upgraded to LEDs by the prior owner, but they were mismatched. They were underpowered.
They were flickery, and so basically all the lights were marginal, and so we went and got all really good LEDs and have them all around, and so the lighting has been great. The one place we don't have lighting yet is the hallway. The lights there are still burnt out, but now that you'll hear about our new carpet in a second. Now we actually want to see our hallway or passageway. Now we're going to tackle the lights down there as well.
Have lighting down there, restore that. So why not? It's almost. I think there's a couple lights that are still incandescent or fluorescent.
There's one fluorescent left.
Yeah, but mostly everything is LED now, and nice LED. And I think you want to eventually do like a smart home thing.
I've actually started researching turning them all into HomeKit systems so that I can say, hey Siri, turn on the passageway lights and make them 50% brightness.
I mean, you can tell Siri to turn on our hot tub.
Yeah.
Don't do it, Siri.
Yeah, don't say it.
Yeah.
So we got a lot more things I want to automate.
That's awesome. We also, just as the pandemic was called and we were leaving Hinckley Yacht Services, we had a whole bunch of maintenance done there. But one thing we had delivered there was a water maker. We got the portable one by
Rain Man.
I always call him Rainmaker, but it's Rain Man.
Yep.
It's a nice little portable one that we picked up to allow. We didn't know what we were facing if we would be able to get marina space, so we wanted the ability to make our own fresh water for drinking and showers.
Yes, and since we headed up a river and have been on more
City
on
water.
a dock, our water maker has basically only been used for its needed periodic cycling. So
Which we're due for.
Which we are due for. But yes, but if we do get down to the Bahamas or just out to more
Salty waters?
salty water cruising grounds, we are set to make our own water, which is great. And we haven't on the potential projects list is plumbing it in, so it's more permanently set up. But it's just pull it out and throw the intake overboard and put the output into the tanks.
So we've had it for 3 years now, but no, 2 years.
2 years.
2 years now.
Yeah, that's right, pre-pandemic.
Yes, right. We got it about 2 years ago. Haven't had enough use of it to have any statement on if it is serving the function, but it's nice to have the option and the flexibility.
Yes.
But the biggest project that we just finished tackling literally this week.
It was the birthday present. It's the 5-year birthday present for Why Not.
Is we finally replaced the carpets in a house that's not necessarily a major. I mean, it's a major thing in a house. In a boat, it is
A lot more complicated project, man. All those hatches we talked about makes a carpeting.
Each one that the carpet wraps around is stapled and glued to, so it's a lot of detail work to both get the old carpet off, the glued on padding, and all the
I
staples,
still have blisters on my hand.
as well as reinstalling it. And we decided to tackle this project because we just randomly mentioned in our last video that we were contemplating it, and longtime follower Joe responded, wrote us and said he was used to own a carpeting store. He's worked on boats before, is interested. He is a boat owner and interested in liveaboard in the future with his wife.
He's retired and looking for a fun project. And so it's like, come on over.
So he came over. He came over and did measurements, and then he made us an offer we couldn't refuse, which was he wanted to gift us his labor of doing the installation. But that also meant we had to do the
de-installation.
He was not up for the de-installation. He knew how much work that was going to be, so we worked with him.
Like about
3 or 5 days total, but some were half days. A lot of it was us working late into the night doing the deconstruction, the removal. That was the bulk of the hard labor.
The pain.
And
then he did the artistry because he is a master he's been doing this since he was a kid, and he can do some pretty amazing work. So, thank you.
So thrilled to have the expert advice. We weren't out to look for free, but thank you, Joe. It was such an incredible gift you gave us of improving Why Not.
Yeah.
He also gave us the advice that the wood floor in the kitchen was horrible from the day we got it, and we thought, well, we'd have to replace it. He says, no, just take a sander to it. So I went and bought a sander, and I spent 3 days on my hands and knees, and sure enough, it looks awesome now.
Yeah, so we made the floor. It's like, wow, so now our flooring is, you look at the before pictures, like so icky and stained in the salon. The kitchen was, we'd gotten so used to it, it wasn't that obviously painful, but it's so nice to have it looking great right now. And it's not just the salon. We did the bedroom and the hallway. The hallway was actually so full of stains that's why we never bothered with the hallway lights.
Yes, without the lights, it wasn't so bad. So yeah, that was just a fantastic upgrade, just a blessing to be able to. It wasn't about free or saving costs, but doing it ourselves. But it's hard to find people who are skilled enough to
work on a boat.
To do the boat. It's a small space. It's a lot of detail work. And finding someone who could work on our schedule and fit it around
our work days
and do it fairly quickly was such
it was
a blessing.
unexpected. And so it became the perfect birthday present or boativersary present for Why Not is new floors. We still have to do something up in the pilot house floor. We're going to do something different up there, but now that's the next thing. And
it's just an area carpet. It's no installation involved.
Yes,
so
exactly. That
shouldn't be as complicated.
Different kind of project, and it now does make the upholstery look, even more in need. So we got to work our way up.
So yes, next major project will be refinishing all of the settees on the boat. The couch we're sitting on here is looking really, really ragged next to the brand new carpeting. Up in the pilot house, all those cushions need to be redone, and we would like to redo all the cushions up on the flybridge. So we are looking. One day I think we need a break. I need a breather.
We're not in a rush for projects, but that's there's always projects queued up on the boat. We've got lots of other projects queued up too.
But if anyone has an upholstery place in Central Florida that we should call, let us know.
We're looking for recommendations.
Yes, we love recommendations. Not looking for free, but love recommendations of who we should hire to do this.
Yes.
So yeah, that kind of wraps up the projects we've accomplished in the last 3 years, which isn't nearly as many as we did 2 years ago, and the first 2 years. But definitely go look at the old video if you've not seen it before to see the full recap of everything we've done on Why Not since we've owned her. We do still have projects on the list because, well, it's a boat. It's a house. Any house has projects. So nothing's different about that.
We'll always keep adding more. If we just sit and think for a minute, we're like, we need to do that.
Do that. So yeah, the reupholstery is definitely on the list. We're also looking at the same time because new Helm Chairs, both for the pilot house and up on deck.
The flybridge. Yeah, the Helm Chairs both are old, ugly, and need to go. So do that.
We've been working on replacing all the faucets on Why Not. So we did the kitchen when we moved in. So we're looking at a new bar faucet. Our friend Dave has given us some leads on that, and we've got the ones for the bathrooms. Partially installed.
Partially done. Yeah. The challenge with that is particularly for the master head is the cabinet opens right over the top of the faucet, and you need a very low profile faucet, which was surprisingly hard to find, but we did. Of course, as all boat projects are, the hardest part is getting the old stuff out before you put the new stuff in.
Okay.
Yes.
We are looking at upgrading our Bomar hatches over the V-berth bed to have better screens that we can pull. And day-night sheds and screens there, because that makes a big difference when you're sleeping and you've got the screens open and the hatch open, and it starts to rain overnight.
Yeah, don't want to have to fumble with taking the screen down while you're half asleep. You just want to be able to pull,
done,
slide, go.
Yeah, so that's an upgrade that we're looking to do.
And the big electrical project that I'm hoping to tackle in the not too distant future is when we did our house battery upgrade, we put in a 24-volt system and a big 5,000 watt Victron inverter, but the alternators on the engines are 12-volt alternators and for the starting batteries. So I'm going to replace one of the alternators with a big high output 24-volt alternator so that it can charge the house batteries underway and also run the air conditioners off of just the engines, not the generator running.
So our solar and lithium system right now, if we don't have to run the air conditioners while we're at anchor, we're finding we need to run the generator about an hour or two every other day to keep up with the deficit of our energy needs. And that just being able to charge up underway will probably reduce that even further. So
and then the other kind of similar thing is eventually, probably not a super rush, but we want to go. The prior owner had replaced the Marine 12-volt fridge with a residential apartment fridge, and we'd eventually like to go back to DC-powered fridge, 24-volt ideally, so that way we could turn the inverter off at night, because our chest freezer, we've already converted to run off 24 volts, and then we could actually lower our power consumption, so we probably wouldn't even need a generator very frequently at all.
That parasitic draw of an inverter on all the time.
Yeah, a big inverter on 24/7 is a lot of drain. So when we're
But I
anchored
want
out.
a defrost. I need defrost.
Yeah,
more than
yeah.
this.
I
gotten
want.
spoiled going
Yes,
back to defrost.
I want a good DC fridge. I know how to build it and know how to do it. It's just they're hard to find.
You're gonna
exactly.
build a refrigerator
Well,
from
how to
scratch?
build the modify it to have the defrost stuff with the
Okay.
the upgraded
Okay,
electronics.
that seems more approachable. I don't think I want to build my own
No,
refrigerator.
no, that'd be actually.
No, do not think about this.
That would be a fun project.
I'm sure. Chris, now a marine refrigerator guy too. Okay.
And,
All right.
we did. Oh, we almost forgot the upgrade. We put in a new air conditioner. That was a project I did last
Oh,
year.
that was right. So yeah, the Salon AC was squealing like
It was on its last legs.
Yeah, it was.
And
It
we-
made a lot of sound. It wasn't putting out a lot of cool air anymore.
And last summer we're heading into the summer thinking we're not going to risk a Florida summer with an air conditioner that is on the verge of dying, and
So yeah, we reached out to our friends over at Dometic. We were on their consumer council at the time, and they hooked us up with basically an at-cost marine air, because they bought that brand many years ago, to swap. And that one is actually very accessible to get to. It's right under the settee in the pilot house.
So I was able to tackle installing a whole new air conditioning system and taking the old one out myself, which was fun.
Yep, we still have two other ones. Those are underneath the helm
Yeah,
of
two
the
other
pilot
legacy
house.
ones.
That they're so far holding up, and
Yep.
not in a rush to change those out, because they're much more difficult to get to.
Yeah, but the nice thing about the one we did install is we can see the temperature and control the temperature from anywhere in the world. So hey, it's just sometimes handy to know how your boat is doing when it's far away.
Right, yeah, because we were able to remote, and while we were gone last year, we left the boat here in Sanford and had friends come check on it every few weeks. Thank you, Sabina Nuckart. But it was nice to be able to remote in to the electrical system as well as the air conditioner. Just make sure, because we left it running low while we were gone, just to keep the humidity out. So.
Yeah, so good. I almost forgot about that upgrade. That was a fun one. Boats. 5 years. I kind of think we'll probably still own. Why not in 5 more years? I'm guessing.
Probably so. We've put enough work and energy into her that I have.
And she's so comfortable.
Yeah, this is the perfect boat for us. People ask us all the time, if we look back 5 years ago, if we would still choose the same boat now
Would
that
we get something different?
now that we've been liveaboards on it for a while, and we have been introduced to so many people on the boat, and I would say without a doubt, yes, I would choose the Bayliner 4788
For
again.
the kind of cruising we have planned and that we have done, and the kind of lifestyle we have, this fits it like a T.
Yep, a 47-foot boat, which is really 52 foot from bow to swim platform, was much bigger than we originally thought we wanted. I'm so glad we went larger, because this has made a fabulous. We look at it now as a condo that we can move, as opposed
And it's
to
still very comfortable, and for 2 people to sit to just the 2 of us to cruise it. We don't need
to cruise. We can still do it ourselves. We do co-captain. So yeah, it's been very comfortable for us boating newbies. Remember, we only owned an inflatable kayak before we bought Why Not? For us boating newbies to get up to speed on and feel comfortable piloting ourselves. And
And it was a great value. Although,
so what we bought it for then, they've gone up in value quite a bit since then, because
everybody wants a boat now, it seems.
yes, boats and RVs are in high demand and have been for the last couple of years. We'll see if that continues or not now with fuel prices being different. But yeah, 5 years, it's hard to believe. It's been an incredible journey. Why Not? It's taken us on some interesting side trips.
Beautiful places. And
Beautiful places.
Looking forward to some more.
Yeah, and yes, the long-term plan is to still go back to active cruising. We still, one day, will probably do something that looks like we finished the loop.
Yeah, we'll eventually finish the loop, because I definitely want to get up into all the Canadian waters and all that stuff, and it would be fun to cruise past the arch. And yeah, it's just, but we are in no rush. People say, oh, you're going to finish the loop yet? And it's like, never was a plan to do it quickly, and we're very happy doing it slow.
Sloopers.
Sloopers.
But I definitely think the things that's changed the biggest for us is we are no longer really identify as loopers as much as we do cruisers.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
yeah.
That's what we've enjoyed about boating, is the cruising lifestyle, the people we've met, and just the flexibility that we can have of actively cruising or staying comfortably in awesome downtowns.
Cool. Well, I think that's about it. So, take care.
We create these videos just for fun, and we love having you along for the ride. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, or if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. See you next time.